So, hey there, my name is Akshay and welcome back to GeeksforGeeks. And in the previous video, I have explained you how to use the select command and where clause. And in this video, we'll learn about SQL and or and not operators. And we'll also cover some more topics. So do watch the video till the end. Now, throughout this course, I've already told you about some basic commands of SQL, how you can create a database, how you can use a database, how you can show all the tables inside that database, and how you can create a table. And I've also explained you how to insert data inside that the particular table, or I've also explained you about the different data types that we can use inside a column for that particular table. So let me open MySQL command line so that we'll be performing queries on this. Okay, so this is the command line. I'll type the password as root, which was given by me while I was completing the setup. So let me show you what are all the databases. Look, I'm using all these commands again and again so that it will be easier for you to remember all these commands when you're performing operations on your database. And if I use these again and again, then you'll remember these commands, right? So I'll use the database GFG over here, which we created previously, and I'll show all the tables. So these are all the tables inside this database. Now, in the previous video, we have created the table known as employee. So what command do we use to show all the data inside this employee table, or you can say the description of employee table? So for that, we use the disk command. Do you remember? You remember it, right? So at the end, we have to put a semicolon and press enter. So this was our employee table, which we created in the previous video. And let me show you the content of this video. We also inserted some rows, right? For that, we'll use select command, select asterisk from employee. Yeah, I'll put a semicolon over there and I'll press enter. So this was the data which we inserted in the previous video. Now, let us start with AND, OR, and NOT operators. I have already explained you about multiple operators in the previous video, which we used in the where clause. Like I have explained you about greater than operator, equals to operator, and less than and greater than or equal to, less than equal to, and also not equals to. And I've also told you that you can use between, like, and in operators in further videos, right? So let us start with AND, OR, and NOT operators. So the where clause can be combined with AND, OR, and NOT operators. The AND and OR operators are used to filter the records based on more than one conditions. Like there are two conditions over there. Like you want the salary to be between this amount and this amount. So for that you can use AND operator, right? And if you want to use the OR operator, you can also use the OR operator. It will have a slightly different output. I'll show it to you in this video only. Okay, so let us start with these things. Okay, so the NOT operator displays a record if the condition is not true. So yeah, these are the three operators: AND, OR, and NOT operators. Okay, let me write the syntax of all of these over here. So first we'll do the AND operators syntax. So for the AND operator syntax, the syntax is select asterisk from table name. Then after that, you have to write where you can write the column names over here in place of asterisk. I'm just gonna use asterisk because I want the data through of the whole table, right? So for that we use the asterisk. Okay, so then you have to write where condition 1 and condition 2. So these are the two conditions which we are gonna give, and you can also write more conditions over here like condition 3, and you have to press you have to write and in between all of these conditions, right? So you can write as many conditions as you want, and this is the basic syntax of AND operator. Okay, so this is gonna show an error. Just a minute. Yeah, it shows an error because it is just a syntax and we are going to use it in this table, or we are going to create a new table and we are going to use the syntax over there. Okay, then for the OR operator, the syntax is like this. You just have to write, just a minute. Okay, so for the OR operator, you just have to write OR over here and OR over here, and you can provide as many as conditions as you want, just like the previous AND operator. And let me press enter so that it may show an error. Yeah, so this was the OR operator syntax, and there is another one over here, that is the NOT operator. Okay, so the not operator syntax is like this. You have to write the select column names. Like, I'm also showing this to you because you may remember that, like, we can provide columns over here too, right? Column 2 dash dash dash. Then we can provide as many columns as you want. All the column names which you want in the output, you can provide them over here. And after using the select command, we have to use from table name. Then after the table name, you have to provide this condition, and for that we'll use the where clause. So after that, you have to write where, and you have to write not over here, which is our operator, and you have to give a condition over here. Okay, so just like this, you can provide a query over here, and if this condition is not true in this particular columns, then that data will be given in the output of this particular query. Okay, so let me press an enter so that it may show an error. Okay, so these were the three operators: AND operator, OR operator, and NOT operator. And you can also provide column names in the place of asterisks in AND and OR operators too, just like I've done it in the this one. Okay, now we'll see an example of AND operator. Okay, so for the AND operator, we are going to create a table who will have the following columns. Like, let me create a table. Create table. What will be the name of table? Let's say XYZ. Okay, XYZ. And in this table, I will have the following columns like name, character type, whose length will be 20. Then for the what do you can say? Let me give it not null constraints over here. Then I'm gonna write another column over here, that is let's say phone number, and for phone number I'll write integer over here and provide 13 length over here. Then I'll give it not null because I also require this phone number from each and every input. And I'll also let's say I don't want to duplicate phone numbers in different names, right? So for that, I'll use unique over here. So I'll use the unique constraint and I'll create another column over here. And then we can use the city over here. And for the city, I'm gonna use character data type, and the length will be 40. Let's say a very huge amount of length we are taking for the city, because we want that it should not show an error for very long names too. Okay, then after city, we'll also give one column for the country. Okay, then after that, for the country, we'll also provide character data type, and the length will be 20. And yeah, this is the basic structure of our table, that is XYZ, and we are going to create this table. So let me press enter so that this table is now created. Now let me show you the structure of this table by using the command desc. Okay, so I'll write desc XYZ and I'll press semicolon. This is the basic structure of our table that we just created. Now I'm going to insert data inside this table. Okay, so for that I'll use the insert command, insert into XYZ, and I'll write the values over here directly because I don't want to write the column names over here. Okay, You can also provide column names and insert the values inside a particular amount of columns that you want. Okay, so for the name, I'll write A, and for the phone, I'll write random numbers. Okay, so yeah, this must be it. Then after that, I've given the numbers in the quotes over here. You have seen this, right? So you can also provide integers inside quotes. It will not show any kind of error. So to be on the safe side, we will take quotes for each and every kind of input. You can also provide numbers without these quotes, and this will also not show an error. Okay, so you can use it like that if you want. Now for the city name, I'll write let's say Berlin. Not Berlin. Let me just take some normal inputs, like let me use A, B, C over here. Okay, and for the country, I'll write USA. Yeah, and I'll close this and I'll press enter, so this row will be inserted. Okay, so this number was quite just a minute, out of range. Let me remove the quotes and try again. Okay, so the range was 13 we have given over there, and we have exceeded the range. So let me just reduce in few numbers and I'll try it again. Okay, so the now row is now inserted and our phone number was quite smaller than the range. Okay, so these were 10 characters over here, like 5 and 5, and it was not taking input while we gave the size as 13. So it has some problem, I don't know why. Let me insert some more rows so that I may show you how to we use the AND command. Okay, so I'll use I'll use B over here, then give 3 numbers over here, change full numbers. Yeah, and I'll write BCD over here. Then also this city will also be inside this USA. Okay, so I'll press enter so that this row will be inserted, and I'll write another column over here that whose name will be, okay, let me write 6, 7, 8, 9 over here, and for the city I'll give it CDE, and I'll change the name of the country by US, and I'll insert this row. Let me press it upwards. Okay, yeah, and the next will be DEF, and for the number we'll change to 87, and the name will also be changed to D, and the country, for the country, let's say China. Yeah, and we'll insert this row. Then let me change the data a little bit, and I'm gonna insert another row over here. So we'll give 32. Yeah, and EFG will be the data, and the will be USA over here. And for the city, let's reuse our previous one, like BCD. So BCD, I'm using it again over here, and I'll press enter. Okay, so we have inserted 5 rows inside this particular table. Now let me show you this table by using the select command. What was the name of the table? The name of the table was XYZ, and I'll press enter. So these are the 5 rows which we just inserted, and as you can see, the citizen whose name was D, not exactly D, the citizen whose name is E and B, they both live in the same city, BCD in USA. Okay, now let me run some queries so that I'll show you what is the use of AND operator. So for that we'll use the select command. So select asterisk from XYZ, where for the where I'll give a condition like country, and for the country I'll give let's say USA and operator we are using right now, and then we'll provide the second condition, that is the city one. So for the city I'll write let's say BCD. Okay, now if I press a semicolon over here and I press enter, so these two citizens whose name were B and E are given in the output, who are living in city B and the country USA. So this was the output because we provided two conditions, and when both of these conditions are true, then this will be the output. Now let us see what is the use of OR operator. So if I write OR over here and if I try to get the same output in this condition, so it will check that if this condition is true, like the country is equal to USA, then the row will be included inside this particular output, and if the city is BCD, then also it will be shown in the output. First let me insert another row in which I'll write the city name as BCD, and let's see what will be the output. Like I'll write US over here and I'll insert this row. Let me change the number a bit so that it may not show an error because we give it unique, right? So one more row is now inserted. Now let us use the select command. Select asterisk from X, Y, Z, and I'll print the output. Okay, so now this BCD and USA combination is there, and BCD and US combination is also present. Now let us try to use the OR operator in the query which we used above. Okay, so I'll write OR over here, and as soon as I press enter, if it will check that if the country is USA, it will print the whole line over there, and if the city is also BCD, then also it will print a line over there. So this output should contain 4 rows like this one, and also these two. Why is it including these 4 rows? Because we have given OR operator over here, and if both of the conditions, if either one of these conditions are true, it will be present in the output. Now let me press enter. Just a minute. Yeah. So this is the output, and as I've just told you, if one of these conditions is true, it's gonna be present in the output. Now let us use the NOT operator. So for the NOT operator, I'll use okay, I'll just change this query a little bit, like from select asterisk from XYZ, where and after where we have to use NOT, and after NOT we have to give the condition. So for the condition, I'll give country not China. Okay, so country is not equal to China, right? So let me increase the size. Okay, yeah. So this query should print all the rows which in whose country is not given as China. So as you can see in the output, the dth row was deleted because it does not has China in the country part, and that's how we use the NOT operator. So this is how we use all of these 3 operators, and you can also combine these operators, like I want to give 2 conditions. Okay, so wait a minute. Okay, so in the where command, I'll write the country is equal to USA and city is equal to ABC or city is equal to let's say BCD. Yeah, so we have to provide circular brackets over here so that it may know what the parenthesis is. Okay, and if we print this, we are getting the output like this, like the city ABC and BCD are also present over here, and the country, that is the USA, is present over here. So this is the same output as if we try to print that where the condition is like country is equal to USA. And it is also checking the output like the city is ABC or BCD, right? If I insert one more row inside this database, just a minute, let me insert one more row inside this database whose city will be little bit different, and the phone number should also be different, like 8 wait 36 over here. And let me write down the name as well, G. Okay, there is another country, there is another city, J over here, and I'm inserting this row inside this table. Okay, so now if we try to run this command again, now this output is different because it is also checking this condition too. Like the city is ABC or BCD, then it will, and the country is USA, then it will be printed inside the output. Otherwise, it won't be. So that's how we use and operators and or operators together inside this. Okay, we can also try the inverse over here. Like we can write or over here, and city inside the city we can use the not exactly, this won't be possible. Okay, sorry, this was not possible. And we can also combine and or operator with the not operator. Like, so if the country is USA and not city, like city should not be equal to BCD. So I'll write BCD over here, and I want that output of the persons whose country is USA, but the city is not BCD. So like this you can use. You also have to write and over here, just a minute. So these are the two conditions that we are checking right now. Like the country is USA and not the city, and the city is not BCD. And if I try to print this, the output will be like this. Like these are the 4 rows in this database. Just a minute, let me show you that the whole database over here. Like okay, so this was the whole table, and there are 4 USAs over here, and the output is only showing these 2 USAs because we discarded this condition where the city was not equal to BCD. Okay, so that's how we combine and not operators. And I've also shown you the way how you can use and or operators together. The inverse is not possible if you try to write or and inside this table. So these both of these conditions should be true, and if this condition is true, then output will also be present, and if this condition is also true, then also it will be present. So you can write the conditions according to your needs, and I won't get into too details about this topic. Okay, this is all you need to do this. These are all the commands that you are going to need in when you're working on the practical amount of data. Okay, so yeah, that was it for the and or and not operators. Now let us try another topic, that is order by keyword. So the order by keyword is used to sort the result set in ascending or descending orders. So for this, for arranging the whole database by using the order by keyword, we can arrange the database inside ascending or descending orders. So for this, the basic syntax is order by syntax. So I'll give you the basic syntax of order by. So for this, we'll use the select asterisk from table name. You can also provide columns over here, like I've just told you in the previous table. And after this, you can provide order by. Like say, let's say I've inputted the rows in a very wrong manner, like I've given A, C, D, E, or I've given them names as randomly, and I want to arrange the names by ascending order or descending order. So it's already arranged in the ascending order, and I want to arrange these inside the descending order. So for that, I will use order by DESC. Like, okay, so by name, then you have to write DESC or anything else. Okay, so you can use it like this. Okay, so let me first write to implement this inside our table. So for that, let me just complete the syntax. You can use ASC if you want the list in the ascending order, and DESC if you want it in the descending order. So this is the basic syntax of order by. Okay, now let us use this in our table. So for the table name, we'll use XYZ, and in the order by condition, we'll use name, and we want the name. Now let me just show you how you can okay, we'll try the descending order first, and if I press enter, see how the names are arranged inside the descending order. So this is how you use the order by. Now let me show you some more things. Like if you don't provide the ascending or descending over here, what will happen? So by default, it arranges the whole table inside the ascending column, ascending order. Okay. So if you don't provide ascending or descending in front of the column name, the table will be arranged by default in the ascending order. Okay. Then you can also use multiple columns over here, like if I use by name, then I'll press a comma and I'll write city over here. Okay. So now the data should be arranged by both of these things. The first priority will be the name, the second will be the city. Now let me press enter and see if the output is any different. Okay. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, then this city is also arranged. Okay. So A, B, C, D. Then this wasn't possible because the first condition, it was the first priority was name, right? That's why it first judged that this condition is true or not. Then after then it will be looking for the city. If the name was, the sorting of the name is done, then it will look for the sorting in city. And we can also provide data over here, like I want the table to be arranged in a manner like I want the names in descending order, and I want the cities in ascending order. So I'll write DESC, and also I'll give the city as ASC. Then I'll press enter. Okay, there must be some syntax error over here. Just a minute. Okay, I have not used the select asterisk command over here. That's why it's showing an error. Now let me try again. So I want to arrange the data in such a way that the names are arranged in descending order first. Then it will, if that sorting is done, then it will look for city in the descending order. So if it is possible, then it will change the order. Now let us try to run this query. Okay. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So as you can see, the data is arranged in a descending order. And as we have given the name in the descending order as the first priority, so it's just taking the name in the first priority. And if there were two names of similar, like G and G and G inside this particular table, like if I try to insert duplicate values inside the names and I try to get the same output, then it will judge like the city of those two names is similar or not. Like if it is similar, then you have to arrange, like if the names are similar, then you have to arrange in order of cities. Okay, so yeah, that's how you can use the order by, and you can also use the ascending and descending order in multiple columns over here. Okay, then after this, let me show you another thing, that is the null value. Okay, so a field with a null value is a field with no value. Like the name suggests, it does not have any value. If a field in a table is optional, it is possible to insert a new record or update a new record without adding a value to this field. Then this field will be saved as null value. Like if we have not given, just a minute, let me show you the description of this data. So this country, like if we have not given not null over here constraint, not null constraint over here, then this country part can accept the null values. Like if I try to insert the data inside this table and I leave the country as empty, just a minute. Yeah, this was the insertion part. And if I leave this last column and if I try to insert, okay, let me change the number a bit. I'll write Z over here and I try to insert this row. Now if I press enter, just a minute. So we also have to provide columns over here in order to insert this value. Okay, so for that I'll use name, comma, phone, comma. I'll also give city over here. Then after that I'll write values, and in the values I'll give this Z, then comma, I'll give a number over here, comma, then I'll give the city as JGH. Then after that I'll close this and I'll insert this row. Okay, so we have just inserted a row in which the country is already null. So that's how we insert the null values inside this table. Now if I try to show the whole database, like select asterisk from XYZ. So as you can see, there is null over here that will be printed by default, and if we do not provide the not null constraint in the country column, it can take null values. So if we can leave this field as empty, and until and unless you have provided the not null constraint. So yeah, how do we test this that this value is null or not? That we can also write null over there, right? So it's not possible to test for null values without the comparison operators like equals to, less than, or not equals to. We have to use the null keyword and not null keyword. Like we have to use is null and is not null keyword. Okay, so these are two more operators which you can use to test that the data has null values or not. So let me write down the basic syntax of these two commands. Okay, so is null syntax is like this: select asterisk from the table name, and after that you have to give the where condition, and in the where condition you have to write the column name, like column 1, and is not is null. So what will this statement do? Let me show you by implementing it in a table. Like select asterisk from just a minute, this will also show an error. Yeah, for the table name we'll give x y z, and where the column name will be country. Okay, we have given the column name as country over there. Okay, and is null. Okay, so this will print the null values. Okay, this command is pretty simple, that it is used to find the null values inside the table. And what is the syntax of is not null? So for this you will have to use where column 1 is not null. Okay, so this is pretty basic. You can use not null like just like this, and you can find that the value is null or not. Okay, so let us implement this in our table. So for that we'll use select asterisk from XYZ, and then you have to give the where condition, then where the country is not null. Okay, so in the output you can see that all the countries which all the rows which does not have a null inside the countries column are given in the output. So this is how you can get the whole database which does not have any kind of null values. Okay, so yeah, this was it for the is null and is not null operators. Okay, that's how you use these two operators, and I've also explained you about the different operators throughout this video. I guess that is it for this video, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Now let me show you if you are having doubts inside this course, where you can post the doubt. So if you want, you can also check out the courses. So for that, you have to go to GeeksforGeeks.org page. So this is the official website. You just have to sign in over here. Okay, then you can go on to courses over here, and you can just search for the course which you want, and also you can search it over here like okay. So SQL Foundation self-placed course is also available over here. If you are having trouble understanding these videos, then you can also check out this course, and your doubts will also be cleared through this course. And you can also post the doubts inside the comment section. I'll make sure to reply to all of those comments, and I'll give you the answer to more of these questions, and I'll also explain you some of these questions if you post them in the comment in the next video. So do comment inside the video. Okay, like this video and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one. Bye bye.